Hello, this is Edward Troxel. In today's tutorial we're going to go back and look at one of the first tutorials we created where we could add a new event to the timeline. So we're going to go back and review the old script where we had a bunch of subroutines that would add a video event to the timeline, and then we're going to expand on that to see how we can add a partial clip to the timeline. So let's look at the review first. Here's the old script that we had. The first thing it does is ask for a file name, and then it would look for the first video track. It would get the cursor location, and then it will add that file to the timeline at that position. And then we had the get file name routine, we had the find first video track routine, and then we had the add file to timeline routine, and those are the three routines that we called up here. So let's run this just to get a reminder of how this worked. Tools, Scripting, Run Script. Select our script. And then we would go down and pick our file. In this case, I'm going to use a wedding file that I have. And this is the file itself that gets added to the timeline. And as you can see, it's a fairly lengthy file, so there's a lot of stuff in here. We're going to look specifically at the 1910 position. So that would be somewhere right in here. We will see that the bride is getting ready to play a song, and she plays that song all the way through the 22-27 position. So we want to pull out just this one little bitty segment from this clip so that it can be added to the timeline separately. So let's go through and modify our script to do this. In this case, I want to get both the video and the audio so that we can add them both, so we're going to have to expand on the script a little bit. And so I've modified this to say please select the video file instead of the image or video file. And then we're going to come down here, we're going to find the first video track, but then we're also going to find the first audio track. So let's look at our code down below. Here is our find the first video track code. It's exactly the same as it was before, and I've basically just duplicated this whole thing to find the first audio track. So now we're going to return an audio track in the first find audio track routine. Then we're going to create a null audio track. We're going to go through the list of tracks, check to see if this is an audio track. If it is, that is the audio track that we will return. If we did not find one, then we are going to create a new audio track, add this track to the timeline, and then return that new audio track. And then finally, our add file to timeline routine. We had to modify that a little bit because we wanted to give it some new information. So we are passing it the file name the same as before. We're passing it the video track the same as before. But now we're going to go ahead and pass the audio track to it as well, because that is where the audio section is going to be added. Now we're going to pass it the cursor location, which is where the video clip and audio clip will be added to the timeline. And then now I'm going to pass it two new time codes. The first time code is the beginning of the segment that I want to add. And the second time code is the ending of the segment that I want to add. So now if we go down and look at the add file to timeline routine, you will see that I've modified these to be the file name. Then we're going to pass the video track, the audio track, the timeline position, which before I just called that position, so I've changed the name to timeline position, and then our start end clip, and then our end clip. So let's see how we will do this. This part is exactly the same. We still need to get the media from the file name. Then if it has video, we're going to get the video stream from the media just like we did before. If it is not null, we did find an audio, so now we need to go in and add it to the track. we're going to go ahead and create the video event, which is the full length of the video clip starting at the timeline position. Then we're going to add that to the video track. Next, we're going to get our take from the stream, and then we're going to add the take to our video event. Now here's where we get some differences. Up to that point we're exactly the same as we were before, but now we're going to take our new video event and look at the active take and look at the offset. For the offset, we're going to use the start position that we passed to the routine. So that means we want to start at this position instead of starting at the beginning. Next, we're going to take the new event length and we're going to set that to our ending position minus the starting position. So we're only going to look at that one small section between the start and the end. Now, because we also want to do the audio portion, we are going to check to see if the media has audio. If it does, then we're going to get the media type audio from the stream, and if it does have an audio stream, then we're going to set a new audio event, the same as we did up above with the video event, at the timeline position and for the entire string length. We're going to add this new event to the track. Then we're going to get a take from the stream. We're going to add this take to the event. Then we're going to set the active take offset once again to the starting position, and then we're going to set the length of this new event to be between the starting and ending position. So it's the ending position minus the starting position. So now let's save this and run it and see how it works this time. So now I'm going to go down and pick this exact same file. And now when we look at the timeline, it is only 3 minutes and 17 seconds long, and it is only the song. But if we do scoot this over and expand them out, you will see the rest of the clip is still there. So we have the entire clip available for us to use on the timeline, but we only got the portion we wanted added to the timeline. So as you can see, by looking at the offset and by changing the length of the event, we can pick just a small portion of a clip to be added to the timeline. Naturally, you'd need to know which portion you wanted. You know, perhaps you had some files on the timeline and you had them regions around them and you wanted just those regions moved to a different track. Well, you can do that using the same method here, only pulling out just those regions, or you could do like we did last week and create subclips. Please sign up at www.jettv.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.